Social media platforms have removed, though, fewer than 1 in 10 posts reported for coronavirus misinformation. We've been in this territory before, of course. This is a report published by the Centre for Countering Digital Hate. They found Facebook, Instagram and Twitter only removed 6% of the posts which contravened those companies' own standards. 2% were from accounts subsequently taken down. 1% were flagged as false information but remain online. That means 90% of misinformation posts which have been reported are left untouched. What is going on? Imran Ahmed is the director of the Centre for Countering Digital Hate. We talked about this a bunch of weeks ago. So it's got no better, according to the conclusions of your report.
Well, good afternoon, Ian. Thanks for having me on. No, clearly they are not performing to the standards that they themselves have set. This is a pandemic. We understand that we need good information to keep ourselves safe, to keep each other safe, and we need to clamp down on misinformation. And the social media companies know themselves, which is why they've made lots of claims, both to the Select Committee, to members of Parliament, but to us, the public, saying that they will clamp down on misinformation. So we decided to independently audit it. And working with volunteers from Restless Development, a youth charity, we asked these volunteers to look for misinformation that contravened their standards, to then record it and report it to the platforms themselves. And when they did so, only 1 in 10, less than 1 in 10 of the bits of misinformation was taken down.
What sort of information is up there? Remind us, if you would, on this point, Imran, the kind of things that are troublesome.
Well, in this particular instance, we were going by the standards set by the platforms themselves, which was things that might lead to human harm, so false cures, to conspiracy theories like the 5G one that led to phone towers, including one that was serving a hospital being burnt down. And we ensured that by first of all, the young people were trained in what to look for, and then second, we audited that. But this is material that we know causes harm. And as a report by Danny Arlington, professor at King's College London, that we published shows, people that believe these conspiracy theories, they're not going to follow the official guidance. Because if you thought a tinfoil hat would protect you from 5G and therefore COVID, why would you wash your hands and physically distance?
Yeah, if you're in that place, and we were in this territory a couple of weeks back, as I mentioned, we were talking about David Icke stuff, and there was some action taken against that. Have the social media companies themselves given any reason as to why people being told that if wearing a face mask can cause cancer and this kind of stuff, people dying of vaccination trials when they absolutely hadn't, this kind of scaremongering stuff? I mean, it's serious because it's about health, and it could be the matter of life and death. I mean, it really is that serious. What do they say? What do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter say when you ask them, hang on a sec, have you seen these posts? They're still on your platform.
Well, Ian, you're right. Lies cost lives. And when we put it to them in the report, Facebook responded by taking down all of the posts that we'd screen grabbed in the report that we'd said they hadn't taken down in the first instance. So clearly they knew it was misinformation. And clearly the question is begged, why didn't they take it down when our volunteers reported it? And the answer is one of two things. It's either because their systems are simply not fit for purpose, it's all going wrong at those companies, or it's because they only respond to PR. And that would be sad. It would be sad if they are trying to spin their way out of a crisis, an infodemic that's raging across the world, that's making it more difficult for us to contain the biological pandemic of COVID. But either way, we, the public, pay the price.
Do you think one of the problems is, again, something else we touched on, they're just so big, there's so much of this stuff out there, they can't possibly keep up with it?
Well, that's certainly a claim that they have made. But here's the thing, Ian. In the last few weeks, Facebook found $400 million to spend on a meme library for their users. And in that time, they've had their human moderators, the content moderators, working from home, or they've been getting rid of them, the agency staff. Why not just hire more people instead of buying a meme library? And the problem with these companies are that they are motivated by the bottom line, by greed. Now, look, that's the way that capitalism works. I'm a realist about these things. But capitalism comes with responsibilities, and good businesses understand that they don't just take from the public, they serve the public. These businesses need to serve the public that use them. And one of the most important services that they can do to both their users and to all of us in society right now is to ensure that misinformation is taken down when they find it. In 9 out of 10 instances, we found when they are given that information served up on a silver platter by our volunteers, they did nothing. And it was really disappointing for those young people. I looked in their faces, I've talked to them. They were disappointed. But hopefully today they get the chance to have their voices heard.